you guys doing today? So this video will pretty much show you how to make your own custom fuel line, and of course do this with caution. You know, work on your own car with caution. And then the next video is going to show you how to do like a custom E85 fuel lines. Pretty simple, but this one just regular gasoline hose. So I went with the steel braided inside, braided outside as well. So this is what I use for like regular gasoline Gen 4 and Gen 5 swaps. You can make your own custom fuel lines. Pretty simple. Nothing too hard about it. So first off, what you want to do is you want to measure the length between the fuel filter and then the fuel rail. This is a Gen 4 fuel rail. So from here to here, pretty much you want to run it, find the length you want, measure the length you want, and cut the fuel line end to end. So pretty much this fitting is a 12 by 125 to a -6. So one will go in here. Of course, always use a washer on it. So this will bolt directly into the fuel rail, and then the other one (12 by 125). See, it is a -6, and it is the fitting that goes into the fuel rail, and then the fuel filter. And if you're running a stock fuel filter, you want to use the stock gasket. This is the part number 90430120026. The reason why is the stock fuel filter, the hole for the washer gasket, it has a little groove on it. So this happened before on one of my car, that I use a regular basic washer. It tends to leak right here on the side. So always want to use the OEM washer. Pretty much that goes in there. This fitting go in here perfectly. So from here to here, say that's the body, and this is the engine right here. So what you want to do is you want to find from the length end to end. Run the line the way you want. Run the line the length you want. And you pretty much get the line. It's usually about 4 foot. So from here to here, you know, and then you just cut it. And to make this other end is pretty simple. You can buy this type, or you can buy the push-on type. This is the push-on style, where you just stick it in and then it locks it in place. So you can do it either way. Well, I like to use this one to this type of fitting for the -6. The bottom part, you always want to go reverse thread. So when you reverse thread it, it's gonna tighten it, and then to loosen it, you turn it clockwise. So to tighten to the hose, you want to go counterclockwise, like you're loosening it, and then this will just bite down to the braided line. Just bear with me. I don't have. So you want to spin counterclockwise to eat it in place. So the first couple one, it's pretty hard, but once you get going, it's pretty easy. And you just kind of look inside, see if it touched the thread or not. So I don't know if you can see this or not. But right when it touched the thread on the bottom part, this is where you want to screw the top piece in. Well, I try to use a little bit of grease on the thread so it doesn't get tightened up. But that's all you really needed. And this, you just tighten it and you just twist it in. another helpful tool would be some kind of wrench. You can use a regular wrench, but since I do a lot of lines, more than one, I went ahead and bought the special tool for it. You can buy this on like Amazon or anything like that. Any place that sells these kind of stuff. And that's pretty much it. You just twist it in. You just twist it in, and then the end product will pretty much, it will look like this. But this is a dash 8 fitting. So pretty much that's gonna go in here, tighten in here. And the key with this one is not to over torque this, because these are aluminum. So you just spin it in, and you can't spin no more. You want to turn one flap only. So this one right here, you want to turn it over one time only. That's it, just one tap. Don't over torque this, because you're gonna mess up the thread on the fitting. So when it touches, one flap over. Okay, say it's like this, right? You touch it, just go one flap, like that. That's it. That's all you will need to do with these kind of fittings. These are very fragile aluminum. Don't over torque this. You don't need to over torque it. Same thing with the fuel filter side. You just tighten it in, and then one flap. And for the return line, which is this piece right here, this is just a regular 1/4 inch hose. You can get the 1/4 inch fuel line hose, and then from there you just run it into your return line. This one is usually 4 or 5 foot, depending on how you run your return line, and the feed is around 3 to 4 foot. It also depends on how you want to run your fuel line as well. So that's pretty much it. If you want to do just a standard fuel, your own fuel line, so that way you don't have to like modify any other kind of like trying to hack this one, adapt to this one. No, because these are old. So go ahead and just make new fuel lines. They're pretty cheap. All of this setup, I would say about maybe 40 or 50 bucks, and then just your time of putting it together. All right, and then the next one is how to run a custom E85 fuel line. And the lines that I use is big shout out to Drift Motion for getting me all these E85 compatible hoses. So you can get these at order online at Drift Motion. So and they use kind of like a Parker Jiffy hose, and then these are the push-on type. So these ones are made for these kind of fittings, where you just you push it in, and then it'll stay tight. No need to twist it or anything like that. So this is the setup that I run on the White Walker. And then big shout out to Danny from Unrivaledtuning for pretty much getting me the hookup on this flex fuel kind of setup, and just kind of teach me how to do this flex fuel setup thingy. So the first step, what you want to do is you want to make your own feed line. So this line, it goes directly to your gas tank. So the gas tank of the MR2, it's a metal pipe with a little fitting on it. And of course you cannot make this into any custom line, because these are stock. And then we went ahead and I found these custom fitting that matches the OEM line, and then this goes directly into the gas tank fuel line. So you tighten this in there, and that would give you a dash 6 AN fitting. And then from there you pretty much just copy the length of this piece, which is, I'll do it right now. So from there, and you want to get one of the straight on push on kind of fitting, or the twist on, whatever you want to use. So perfectly, it goes right there perfectly, and that becomes a dash 6 now. And from there to there. And you kind of measure from there. It goes over, and it goes down. It goes over, and then from here. That gives some little slack. So we're looking about close to 2 feet. So pretty much 2 feet. 2 feet of hose. 2 feet of hose to make this piece go into your fuel filter. So how I'm gonna run this setup is pretty much simple. Similar to the regular gasoline setup. So this mount onto your frame, and then the filter goes like this. And then this goes on the bottom of the fuel filter, and then you have the banjo bolt, the stock one. It goes in here. It goes feed in here. But we're not using this anymore. We're gonna go ahead and use some E85 lines and your own custom lines. And of course, you can do this with the regular hose if you're running a regular gasoline hose, and your piece is kind of like, you know, rusted out or like, you know, bad or leaking or whatever. So you can make your own custom line and not have to pay 120 bucks from the dealer. So it saves you a lot of money. So let's go ahead and do the push on. This one is pretty simple. You just push it on. That's it. And you push it on, and that's how the fitting will go on. And then just kind of measure it out. So we're gonna cut 2 feet of this. That we measured earlier. 1, 2. Hose cutter. And this one, for the other end, we're gonna use an elbow, a push-on elbow fitting. All right. So this is how it's gonna look. Your new custom feed line replaced this hard line. So pretty much it's gonna be similar length. And then if you want, you can get some of those clamps, those rubber clamps, and then you just bolt them to that. And then just kind of run it like that. So pretty much this is gonna go on the bottom of the filter. Like so. And of course, same thing, just go touch and then one flap. And then from there, that's pretty much how you make your own custom fuel hose line. And then this gonna go like that, and then make sure this one right here, remember there's a heat shield. Go ahead and put some kind of like protection rubber piece around it, so that way it doesn't touch the heat shield. So that's for the feed line. And same thing for the top. Make your own line from the fuel filter to the fuel rail. And then if you want to go E85, make sure you use E85 hoses. If not, the E85 will pretty much gonna eat up your regular fuel hose. And also, if you're gonna run E85 setup, make sure you run E85 filter. You can buy this one from Drift Motion as well. I use a Fuel Lab. This is about like 100 bucks, 120, 130 bucks, depending on the type. And this is pretty cool. It has a filter inside. So once it gets dirty or something, you just uncap the bottom, and you can take out the cartridge and then put a new cartridge in and put it back in place. So this can actually go replace with this, you know, which is perfect. So I also read somewhere where the E85 will pretty much eat up the fuel filter on the inside of it over time. So I would go ahead and get the E85 fuel filter. So that's pretty much for the feed line. And then from there, from the fuel filter to the fuel rail, and then from the fuel rail, you can buy one of these adapter. Buy this on I think on eBay or on Amazon. I think I might have on eBay. That goes right there perfectly. So that will pretty much come out to a -6. I mean a -6 return. And pretty much same thing. You get yourself one of these 90-degree, any kind of fittings you want. This will go right here, and then 210 mil bolt, and then pretty much route the return line to a fuel regulator, fuel pressure regulator, E85 or regular fuel, and then from that regulator, just say this is the fuel regulator, it goes back into like a flex fuel sensor. And then from the flex fuel sensor, it goes back into the return line to the gas tank. Or if you're running regular gasoline, this one just goes straight into the gas tank, the return line. If you're running a fuel pressure regulator. And that's pretty much it on how to make your own custom fuel line. Hope I don't forget anything, but yeah, you can pretty much make your own fuel setup, fuel line setup, water setup, water line setup with these. You know, you can buy these fitting. You can buy them online. To me, the -6 AN fitting, the -6 hoses, can handle quite a lot of power. So there's no need for you to run a -8 unless you run like 1,000 horsepower, you know, 700 horsepower kind of build. But yeah, that's pretty much it on how to make your own custom fuel line for your MR2 or any other kind of car. And also, you know, I'm not a professional mechanic. Do this at your own risk. I'm not responsible for whatever you're doing. And also, if you like my content, subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. All right, guys, have a good day.